Good morning. We will get the council meeting underway for June 23rd, 26th of the council meeting. The agenda. Let's move on to the agenda. 1.1, additions to the agenda. I have some additions I'd like to add. Number 1, mowing. Number 2, the approach concern. And number 3, grants.
You want
Mowing can go under,
infrastructure?
yeah,
4.4.
along with the approach, I guess.
5, approach. And grant, corporate service, 6.3.
Other additions? Yep, go ahead.
Administration would like to include under closed session intergovernmental relations, ATI section 26. And we'd like to actually delete something from the agenda, 4.2, the Village of Acme transfer site requisition payment.
Okay. Any concerns with additions and or deletions? Councillor Cunningham?
Reeve would be disappointed if I didn't add Division 5 update to council and committee reports, please. 9.1.
Councillor Woodstock?
If there are no more additions or deletions, I would move the agenda as amended.
Any questions, concerns? Everybody's okay with it? All in favor? Carried. Moving on, the regular council minutes. Everybody had a chance to look at them? Errors or omissions? Councillor Hopkins?
I move the council approves the adoption of the minutes of June 9th, 2026 regular meeting of council as presented.
Any concerns or on that? All in favor? Carried. Okay, let's move on to, let's go into infrastructure 4.1.
Right. Good morning, Reeve, members of council. This morning I bring forth an RFD in regards to the Selkirk water system and the water modeling that was just completed on it. Just for a little bit of background, the Selkirk water system was completed in 2011. At the time, the system comprised of 213 kilometers of pipeline and 231 service connections. The system was designed as a full flow service, which meant that you could potentially get 4 imperial gallons at 40 PSI. That enabled a direct connection from the water line to the home. Since that time, an additional 29 services have been connected or applied for, including 2 approved increased flows and 1 completed line extension. There are currently 2 water models in progress for connection to the Selkirk system. One is a routine connection, and the other involves extending the current water line. The modeling shows that the Selkirk system is approaching its expansion limit in the south-southwest sections and is negatively affecting users' pressures in the north and northwest sections. The water modeling that was completed recommends restricting both these new requests to 0.5 gallons per minute, effectively making them a trickle-fed system or trickle-fed service that would require a personal cistern. The modeling shows that the Selkirk system is approaching, the modeling results show that existing Selkirk services would be negatively affected by these new services if they exceeded that recommended restriction. During the modeling, the consultant mentioned possible upgrades to the system that could alleviate some of the pressure concerns. An investigation would need to be undertaken to determine these upgrades, their potential costs, and the potential benefits to them. So a bit of this stress. So reducing the flow rate to 0.5 gallons per minute is a reduction from our usual standard restriction of 4 imperial gallons per minute, which up until this time has been achievable on all our rural water systems. The county would engage the water modeling consultant to explore these options for system upgrades to alleviate these pressure concerns in the western extremities of the Selkirk water system. It is likely that the best improvement will be additional water line looping to reduce pressure losses, with the side benefit of potential new customers. I mean, this might alleviate what we're doing. Maybe it'll give us new customers. That's what'll kind of come from this new investigation. Another option that could come through this is increasing system pressure. However, portions of this network are already above the 100 PSI. So the investigation would look into the possibility of introducing additional targeted inline PRVs to reduce that pressure in those areas. So to do this study, we're approximately about $10,000 to $15,000. And one of our council options, there's 5 of them there. Our recommended motion is that council direct administration to engage with a consultant to investigate potential upgrades to the Selkirk water system as a new 2026 project and a budget of $15,000 funded from the water reserve. Following up, depending on your decision, we would notify the 2 applicants of what the models results were, and go from there. And if you chose to follow this, then we'd give them an update that basically they would have the opportunity to maybe in the future get something increased if that investigation showed that it could, but at this time they would be limited to that 0.5.
Questions? Councillor Olson?
What is the max pressure on that water line?
Through the max pressure, it varies. It's HDPE pipes, so I don't think you want to get over 120 anywhere.
Thanks.
So we got 2 guys wanting water. We're gonna spend $15,000 to do a study for 2 people, decide whether or not they can have water, and if not, it's 0.5 gallons, half a gallon a cistern.
Yeah, through the reef, they can get this water at 0.5 gallons per minute if they so accept that, right? They just have to put in a cistern. This money being spent is to investigate the remaining of the Selkirk system to see if there's potential to allow more expansion in that area and also to ease the people in the north. So it's not just for these 2 people, but potential of future.
Well, before Mr. Woodstock, I'll continue on with my question there. I mean, do we have potential people lined up? Because I mean, I can sit there and go what ifs all day. Like, I don't want to spend any money if there's nobody there. This water isn't cheap.
Right, through the reef, there is no, I mean, water models come in when someone comes and wants to develop. So I couldn't answer that if there's somebody lined up.
Councillor Woodstock?
Thanks, Mr. McCrinnan. So we're looking at looping the lines, or what is the consultants looking for to happen?
Yeah, so through the reef, that would be one of the things that we'd look at, where they'd probably, in the model, create loops in the system to see if that would create more pressure up in the north part of the system. There would also be looking at maybe rudimentary lines, so another line along the same way kind of thing to increase the capacity. They'd look at upping the pressure coming from the pump house, but again, the pressures, depending on where they are and stuff, may need some PRV. So different scenarios they're going to look at through the modeling to see if they would be feasible.
Yeah, near as I can gather, when the water lines started coming out of the reservoir, they went west, then they went north, and then they came back south into a bit of a loop, and that's probably where we're running short, is in the south end.
The south end, when north end is a higher elevation.
Yes.
Right, so when you're taking more in the south, obviously you're taking the pressures away from the north.
Yeah, we're lack of water when we get up to the north
Right.
end.
Councillor Olson?
Yeah, I'm not in favor of increasing the line pressure. I think the higher the pressure there, more problems will result. Yeah, it's, I kind of agree for 2 people for $15,000. This is a I mean, obviously, we're thinking ahead, but yeah, it does seem like quite a bit right now.
Councillor Penner?
So in the preamble, you mentioned that there's two flow increases occurring, two approved increased flows. Could you explain that to me again? From previous conversations, are they guaranteed that flow? Once they've received that increased flow allotment, is there any way, as we're running short of water, that those flows can be reduced back to the original specified amounts? I'm not explaining myself clearly. Are those flows written in stone now, that they have those extra flows?
Right. So the Reeve, I believe where you're going with this. So when we have the increased flow, those are obviously brought to council, decided upon, but when the people do apply for this increased flow, they do check off on the application that this can be rescinded when needed. Rescinding that, I mean, I'm not sure if that would overly help or not, depending on where they are in that system, right? Kind of thing. But yeah, they're able to be rescinded as part of the application, so they do acknowledge that.
Any other concerns, questions? Councillor Penner?
I guess the only comment that I'd make is that, while I agree it's not a small amount of funding, there is a certain responsibility to maintain an adequate water system since we're in that business now to that area. So $10,000 now for a study or $15,000 for a study now as compared to a year down the road or 2 years down the road when there's more requests, maybe the money's well spent. Maybe it's not a bad investment at this time.
Yeah, okay. In response to that, my concern would be is that I got people that don't have water, that would like water too. And we are in the water business. But they're not getting it. Because we can't get up there, right? It's cost too much money, I've heard. So, I mean, to me, I think until I see some more people entertaining or wanting to hook up, like I'm kind of in favor of not doing anything right now on that. Councillor Olson?
I guess the other thing I don't like is this was not budgeted in the 2026 budget, so this would be outside of that. So, yeah, I'd rather see something like this pushed to the 2027 budget if we're going to do it at all. But that's just my opinion.
Councillor Woodstock?
There seems to be more and more connections going on that Selkirk system. I think you said there's 29 that have been put in since the line went in. So that's over 10%. And that area is more highly populated, and there seems to be more development happening there. But we do have the Aqua 7 line running through there, but we can't tap into the Aqua 7 line without putting in a reservoir. Am I correct?
Through the Reeve, that's correct. Aqua 7 only delivers water to a municipality with a code of practice, a license, registration, that sort of thing. So we can't go to individual people off that.
No, we can't go to individuals, but if we were to put in, okay, I'm just spitballing here, but trying to figure out if we could, because the line basically terminates right at the corner of Acme there. Well, I guess it doesn't terminate there, but there would be an ability to put in a smaller reservoir someplace in that corner to backfeed it, to go back up to the north, or not? Or I guess that would be the engineering part of it.
Through the Reeve, that'd probably be beyond what I was looking at for this one. I mean, there'd be multiple different things that you could do with their current infrastructure. Maybe like increase the capacity at the reservoir, maybe increase some pipe sizes. But again, it's quite a project. It's not,
Yeah, the way it was all designed, it actually worked out really well for the residents that were there. But now that we've got a bunch more residents that have hooked up, because it seems like every time there's acreage put in, there's a demand for another riser. And a lot of that is right in that southwest area. Unfortunately, the line that we have runs west, then north, and then comes back south. So that's where the demand is in the south, but we're losing pressure on the north.
right, through the reef. And some of the pipe sizes are very small running through that area. Most of
Yeah.
the rural stuff is around 2-inch with some 4-inch, but a majority of the pipelines are 2-inch, which when you're expanding doesn't have that volume.
Any, Councilor Olson?
Yeah, sorry, I keep asking questions, but is there the ability to add a development fee if we were to have to upgrade something in that area for residents, new people that want to hook on? Is there some kind of, to help fund that?
I'm sure something like that could be investigated and brought back to council for a decision on it, but right now I don't have any information to kind of start that conversation right now.
Councilor Woodstock?
In my personal view, I would like to see the engineering done, 10 to 15,000, that's, I mean, that money would probably be coming out of the water reserve, which is a restricted reserve, we can't use it for anything other than water. So it's not like we don't have, we can't pull it, it's not like we can't pull it out of the water reserve, because we can't use the water reserve for anything other than water issues. So, how much do we have in that reserve, do you happen to know?
Through the reef, I don't have that off the top of my head, sorry.
I'm sure somebody's listening.
Any other comments, concerns?
Just wondering how much money is in the water reserve, the restricted water reserve.
Councilor Woodstock?
I guess while we're on the subject, do we have any other water systems that are getting to the point where they're starting to suffer because of lack of water input? Or I guess you don't know because nobody's applied?
Yeah, through the reef, we don't, through the water mowing, we don't really get an update on that. We usually just get this thing can be done, or this can't be done, has to be restricted, or that sort of thing, but, so we don't, unless we wanted, again, to spend more money, because it is a consultant, then they'd look into capacities as well, right? But right now, there hasn't been any other concerns.
Okay, thanks, Mr. McKiernan.
So that's in fact why this question is being asked at this time, is because there was an ask for water usage. that's when typically administration would approach council for funding to do a consultation. Okay, so you're not preliminarily doing consultations at any other time, only when there's requests for water flow.
Same time. Yeah, through the REEV to all of council, there's 5.8 million in the water reserve right now.
Sounds like enough money to build some pipeline up north, maybe. Okay, everybody got the information? You okay with that? 5.8 million?
Yeah, well,
Okay,
thank you.
yep. Councillor Woodstock?
So I guess what, I'd like to make a motion that council direct administration to engage a consultant to investigate potential upgrades to the Selkirk water system as a new 2026 project with a budget of $15,000 funded from the water reserve. We've got money there. We can't use it for anything other than water, so I think it might be a good idea to see where the system is right now.
Motion's on the floor. Questions, concerns? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay, let's go to 4.3 real quick. We got a meeting at 9, right? Yep. Morning, Mike.
Good morning, Council. Here today to give an update on our road stabilization capital project for 2026. So the road stabilization project was approved a part of the 2026 pre-approved projects with a total budget of $412,500. The funding was coming from the roads reserve. So this project was based on Kneehill County staff assisting with the contractors. The original plan would have required Kneehill County to have 2 graders, a water truck, 2 packers, and then the operators to fill those seats as well. So with the, due to current staffing and operations demands, administration's focusing on maintaining established level of services and completing day-to-day operation requirements. As that results, we won't be able to help the contractors complete this project. So instead of postponing the contract or project, administration worked with the contractor to come up with a price to have them complete all the work necessary. Within that, the scope of the project had changed. The original scope was for 8 miles. With the new proposed cost per mile, we would have to drop it down to 6 miles to do the road stabilization project on. So this would allow the project to remain within the approved budget. However, the reduction in the project scope presents a change, and that's why we're bringing it back to council for council's consideration. So there is no additional costs. We would still remain in that budget of $412,000, but we would be dropping that 2 miles. So there was some conversation of changing some of the locations for the project due to the soil types. Instead of having it test in the gumbo stuff or soil, we would utilize it in the sandy material. So just some fun facts about 26-0. We did complete a traffic count on that from June 4th to June 18th. So in that 2-week period, there was just under 2,000 cars that drove that road. So average about 135 a day there, or 131 a day, sorry. So it is quite a busy road. We have traffic counts out on other roads right now. So unfortunately, we like to do a 2-week period. So that was all the information we could get for these other roads. So there's a couple options for council to consider. Council could approve the revised road stabilization program to complete 6 miles of road stabilization at the following locations. Would be Range Road 241, south of 3rd Street to Township 314, and Range Road 260 from Highway 575 to Township 302. Another option would be that council could approve the revised road stabilization program for the following locations, which would be Township 30-0, 1 mile east and 1 mile west of the Highway 806, along with the Range Road 260 from 575 to 302. We could also, council could also cancel the program, or if council has other locations that have came up. I know Sharples Hill was discussed there, so those are kind of the options that are presented. The recommended one would be the Township 30-0 and Range Road 260, unless council wishes to do Sharples Hill.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, we've talked about this before. Any other concerns or any more comments? Everybody knows where I stand. I'm not in favor of road stabilization. I think it's a Christmas juice, and I've seen it over the years, and whatever. I'm not sure what we're trying to gain out of this. You got a road out there that's getting beat up with lots of traffic. I mean, there's other options we should be looking at, I think. But to me, being that the scope changed on this project, I would like to have seen it canceled and looked at for the brought forth again on at different, something different in 27 on that road, if that's the concern. Any other comments or concerns? Councillor Woodstock.
Thanks, Mr. Conkin. Just a question, the product that would be used on that road would be just to keep it from turning into washboard?
Through the chair, that would be the goal. So it would be an MG30 product that's injected and milled into the top 6 inches of the road. So that's why it's considered a base stabilization. We'd be mixing and injecting it right into that. The gravel would still be reapplied to the road afterwards. It would just try to give the base of that road some structure in that sandier material.
Yeah, it's certainly sandy in there, and there is quite a bit of traffic. How often do we blade that? Okay, I know how often the road gets bladed, but I also know that within 2 or 3 days of blading, depending on when it's done, it's back to the same shape that it was prior to the grading. And would there be a lesser amount of grading have to be done if this product works, or do we already know that this product will help the grading situation there?
Through the chair, this is a trial project, so I can't confirm whether it would be less blading or not. The goal would probably, or would be to see the prolonged, whether it's effective where we blade it, and do we get 2 weeks before it's washboarded completely out again, or is it 2 days like it currently is? So those numbers would be to come back to council after we would do this project and see those results. As of blading it, the rotation, I believe the grader is there just under 3 weeks in that division to that road. If not, they hit it a little more often once the safety concerns are there of the excessive washboard. Then we would divert from the route and head back there.
Councillor Olson.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. We were using another product that we had like a 50% effectiveness, I guess. Is that correct? Or that's why we've changed to a different product? Is that correct?
Through the chair, I'm not 100% sure on your question there. So like the product that we'd be using for this is an MG30 product. Are you asking on the change of the roads?
So we've never used this in the past? We've never done any kind of road stabilization in the past?
We have done it on Township, or Range Road 241 between 27 and 583, but that was accompanied with a shoulder pull at the same time. So there's no shoulder pull being done to these roads at the same time.
Okay, and how did that turn out?
So from an operations standpoint, good in the aspect of the base stabilization. I think ratepayers may have something different to say about road shoulder pulls in that situation. But from the base stabilization, we did see a significant decrease in blading on that specific road. Granted, that was almost 10 years ago now, so it is starting to see the effects of not having it again, right? So we do blade that road more often as the years go on. We gravel it.
Councillor Penner.
So with the information that we've presented at this point, it strikes me that the stabilization program did show some effect in the past, different product. It seems to me that it's well worth doing a trial. We know we can't have maintainers out on the road every 2 days. They'll never get to any other part of their division to get maintaining. So I see it as being a reasonable alternative, a reasonable study to invest in and see what results look like. And I guess with that I would make the motion that council approve the revised 2026 road stabilization program consisting of approximately 6 miles of roadway stabilization on Township Road 300, 1 mile east and 1 mile west of Highway 806, and Range Road 260 from Highway 575 to Township Road 302.
Any more discussion? Councillor Cunningham?
Yeah, so Councillor Olson, we can have a long discussion about that. And again, it's, you know, some people felt the road turned out better on 241 after that. Some people didn't. I happen to be one of them. Shoulder pulls to me make our road got a lot narrower, which has brought up other issues, but anyhow, that's a story for another day. Mr. Conca, can you just remind me again, so we've moved away, I know we had discussed at my ratepayer meeting of doing 241 South. Now we've moved away from that because we don't think that's an appropriate road to try the road stabilization on. Can you just remind me of that, please?
Through the chair, that was previous conversation with council, is they, we wanted to, we know it works in sandy, that's where or sandy soils, that's where their claim to fame is, in sandy material. We were proposing 241 originally because of the gumbo to see whether it would work in different soil types. From that conversation with council, I kind of got the vibe that we were wanting to look at some alternative and put the money where we know it's going to work type of thing. That being said, those roads are up to council to decide where they want to place it.
Councillor Olson?
Yeah, it's still a pile of money. It's half the price of a grader. So, I mean, if there's a chance it doesn't work, I don't know. It's maybe not money well spent then.
Any other questions? Motion's on the floor. All in favor? Opposed? Defeated. Do we not have a delegation? Okay, pardon me. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Nobody's here? Okay, let's go to 3-2. No. 4-4? Which one's 4-4? Okay. Let's go to, oh, I brought that in, 4-4 mowing. Okay, the other day we went on a road tour, and we noticed that the roads have all been mowed, or in certain areas they've been mowed. We noticed a lot of other things too that we weren't in favor of. Number one, killing the shoulder of the road is definitely a no-no. We got kochia growing there like crazy right now, and we're in the business of trying to basically prevent kochia. And now when we're doing this stuff on the just because of a grader, a guy asking to kill the shoulders, which tells me they really don't know what a road's made of or what a road should be. I've been getting lots of calls on the mowing, and I've got a letter. and I'd like to read that letter that came to me. It says, "It appears that the roadside mowing is underway as anticipated. However, that ag woman stated in her February 10th council speech that the first mowing was mainly to help set back the kochia. Anyone who drives on county roads can see that the kochia alongside the ditches isn't high enough to reach the mower blades yet. So what are we spending all our tax dollars on? To cut brome grass that will always be there and just re-head out in a couple weeks after this mow, and the kochia will then be vigorously growing until fall. Who is accountable for not delaying the mowers a few weeks so they can actually be mowing the kochia as intended?" Basically, that's the conversations that I've had with at least 6, I'm going to say 7 ratepayers over the phone. Now, that being said, when we talked about this and we voted on this mowing, I was very adamant when I stated that I would only agree to mowing for kochia if there were checks and balances in place for the justification of spending $160,000 per cut. Also, there had to be a measurable means set up and monitored by our staff. Identification and documentation of the kochia areas and the hot spots throughout the county was needed in order to deal with the problems rather than just blanket mow the county. In my eyes, this mowing, someone's dropped the ball here, and this just cost the taxpayers $160,000 because the kochia isn't even up to the mowing height. The problem that I have too is, and my ratepayers are basically looking for a good answer because they don't want to hear, "Oh, well," or, "Oh, well, if we don't get the contractors in, we'll never get them." I mean, that's just not going to cut it on this one. So this was a political hotcake for a lot of guys. A lot of people voted with it because of this. And because of the insurance that we were going to monitor this and get on it. And I don't see that happening. Also, I'd like to see it doesn't have to be today, but I'd like to see the contract for the mowing to see what was basically set up for the identification of the work that was being present. Now, maybe a lot of you guys haven't got your areas done yet, but our areas are done. When we were on road committee, I don't believe the south area was done yet. I don't believe Jerry's division was done.
Not yet.
I don't believe, we'll get to you in a minute. I don't believe your area is done, is it? Or is it, they're in there?
I believe they just started today.
Yeah.
Is my assumption. I didn't see them on the road yesterday. They've been across in front of my yard.
Yeah, okay. So that's where we sit on stuff like that. So I'm looking for some answers. Councillor or CEO Cochran?
Thank you. Through the brief to all of council. We're dealing with a couple of things here. One of them is because we contract the work and we don't necessarily have all the control over that. And so what I'd like to do is bring back a cost analysis on what it would cost for us to do this work in-house next year. We can have better control over the mowing. We can have better control over locations. We have time to do the studies, and I'm certain over time the return on investment will be better for the county. So I'd like the time to come back, because this year we're dealing with contractors. And we all know that we don't always get control, and we agree that the timing isn't right, which is why we would like this to come in-house.
That there being said, that's fine. The problem that I have with that is it was brought forth to us in front of us. We asked that question prior to that, and the contractors are there because we couldn't get people to work. That's why the contractors are brought in. When you have contractors, yes, there's a lot of babysitting that needs to be done, and that's our job, or that's your guys' job. It has to be done. This for us to go out and basically mow, I'm still of the opinion, and a lot of my ratepayers are coming at me more and more, we should be spraying. We don't need to be mowing except where there's bad areas. We already have a mower. We can do those bad areas with the mower. That's something that we can look at. But as far as this is concerned this time, this doesn't cut it for us. Like, I'm getting the heat where it's $160,000 wasted. That's what I'm getting as comments. Councillor, or CAO, pardon me, CAO Cochran.
Thank you. Through the reef to all of council. So we haven't had time to do the studies, so we have to allow the COSHA to come up so that we know where the COSHA is. So this year is our study year. When we talked about this, there was nothing on the ground. We didn't have time to even locate it. So we need time to bring you back the information, and we'd be happy to do that while we do a study on what it would cost us to do the work in-house. This was a previous program that was in place before you folks took over the role, and it is smart of us to look at, can we do it better and more effectively in-house? But we needed some time to look at that. So I apologize to the residents. I know they're frustrated, and we'd like to do it better moving forward, but we need some time to do that analysis and come back with a solution for you.
When we made that motion to do them cuts, it was stated that the only way that motion went through is this stuff was going to be identified and blah, blah, blah. Exactly what I said. So that should have been identified. COSHA can be identified prior to the mowing. We got COSHA growing right now, like right on the shoulder of the roads where we're doing the spray. Go ahead.
Thank you. Through the Reeve and to Council, this program has many facets and many different lenses that we look at it through when we're trying to manage things, not just COSHA, but the rest of the vegetation along the road. Yes, we are trying to mow some of the COSHA. Yes, we are going to get some of the COSHA. Our high COSHA priority area is in the south, and hence the reason why we did the north first, and why the south is currently being operated on. The intention of this initial mow is, yes, for the vegetation and weed management of the COSHA, but also for the safety and visibility of residents as they're driving across our roads. But when it comes to our herbicide application, it is not one or the other. We're not only mowing, we're not only spraying, we are doing multiple things in tandem together, and we are trying to implement monitoring systems. And so the request from council was that this system for this year be monitored closely. That monitoring is currently taking place. We will have the results of those monitoring sites to come back to council when we go into budget deliberations for next year.
Any other questions or concerns? Councillor Olson?
Yeah, I took it that the whole point of the spring mowing was specifically for COSHA, not just aesthetics and making things look nice. I thought the reason we're spending the money in doing that mowing is for COSHA. In the fall, yes, want to keep the grass down, less drifting, all that. I agree with the fall mowing. These are some of the questions I had earlier in this discussion, but what I took it as is it was mostly going after the COSHA. So if that's not happening, then I would agree. Then we're wasting money. But
Councillor Cunningham?
Yeah, so I'm like the Reeve. I've actually had quite a few phone calls on this, texts. I guess the question I have, and Ms. Cochran, you did mention that maybe the contract would be brought back to council at another date. What I wonder is like, I understand the contractor has a timeline and they have other jobs that they need to do, but in that contract, does it state what works best for the contractor schedule, or is it timed on when, like I said, I'm no weed expert, but you know, I have ratepayers tell me the COSHA needs to be there before it's mowed. So I guess I'm just wondering, is it based on what's best for Kneehill County, or is it based on the contractor's schedule? Like how does the contract outline that?
Absolutely. And we try, when we select the dates, to choose ones that are the most beneficial with this existing contract that we utilize, and with the staging of this year, the plants weren't growing as much as they have in previous years. And the dates are set in the contract. They start June 1st. They actually delayed and started June 6th, I believe. So we have dates set in the contract, and that's how we obtain contractors. Unfortunately, putting it out for a floating date is not something that we will be able to get contractors for.
Councillor Woodstock?
Thanks, Mr. Locke. We're currently spraying, I take it?
Yes, and that is also the reason why we didn't start in the south, was because we are doing some spraying in the south.
Yeah. So when we have grass cover, brome grass, whatever kind of grass covers in the ditches, if we take that off, that exposes more of the kochia, or is there enough competition in that shoulder that kochia isn't an issue? I'm just wondering how that works.
As in,
Being able to hit the kochia with the sprayer when they come around doing the north side.
yes. So when we are, again, when we've been utilizing this mowing, as we've been using it to reduce the kochia height and reduce the amount of interference in that spray application, so that when we're coming around, we're actually getting full coverage and not having too much canopy to compete with, whether it be brome grass or the kochia itself.
Yeah, because the way the kochia is growing this year, because it's been cool and wet, well, I wouldn't say wet, but at least we've got some moisture out there. So do we spray the whole county for kochia, or just select spots, or how do we do that?
Our current programming is we spray 1/3 of the county per year for full broadcast. That's to hit all weeds. Trying to select our products specific to what we're trying to target. Kochia, of course, is one of them. But then we go back and we do spot spraying. We usually hit about another 1/3 of the county, not specific sections, but overall where it is needed. The other thing with our in-house mower, in this time between when this contract period ends, this first round of mowing, and to the second round, we will be sending that mower out to hit any problem sites that either the herbicide hadn't been effective, or we're dealing with more complex issues like resistance. So we are utilizing our in-house mower in the in-between to be more targeted as we go.
Okay, so we're basically trying to do the best job we can to get rid of kochia, which seems to be a real concern throughout the county, but it's not an easy weed to take care of, so. All right, thank you.
Councillor Cunningham?
I'm probably jumping the gun here because I think you did mention that you're going to bring back some information on doing it in-house, but like I heard you say that like we do have a mower. I'm just wondering, like currently, does Kneehill County have the equipment and the staff that would be needed to do this all in-house at this time? No. not
No.
yet. Okay.
Okay, any other questions or concerns? We beat that up enough? Thank you. Oh, Councillor Cunningham.
Sorry, for Ms. Cochran, so going forward, you're going to bring back some information about potentially in-house, and I would be curious, like what other municipalities are doing, like whether it's contracted out or whether people are doing it on their own. Just like I said, one ratepayer said to me, it's like booking a hair appointment before your hair is grown, right? Like I said, I'm no weed expert, but I did get a lot of information in the last couple of weeks. So, but I totally understand with the contracts, they can't just, they have a business to run as well, and they can't just, like you say, leave it floating, right? But I just want it to happen whatever's best for Kneehill County, and I know that's weather dependent and who can control that. So yeah, I look forward to more information. That'll be great. Thank you.
We'll have that information, I'll have that discussion again. Yeah. C.O. Cochran.
Yes, through the reef to all of council. A motion is always welcome if you want to put one forward. That does track the work on the books, but it is in my work plan to bring back a full and inclusive report on how we could do this differently. That would give you all the information, including best practices. But we're always open to motions because I do put it on the books. It's up to you.
It's on the book? Councillor Cunningham?
Perfect. So I will make the motion that council direct administration to bring back further information on the county's roadside mowing project with different options proposed.
Questions or concerns? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. No delegation yet? Okay. We were out on road tour, out in that east country, and we noticed the approach being built. You identified to us that it was passed on to the approach guy?
Through the chair, so that is being dealt with. We're trying to work with the person that did it to get them to remove it, because virtually they picked a bunch of rocks and threw them in our ditch and said, well, that's our new access. So it is being dealt with. It's just the timing of the year with seeding, and then trying to get a hold of them to come have a meeting. So we're trying to do it without going and using our equipment and our time to fix a mistake that should have never been there. So it is on the books. We are working with the landowners to try to get it fixed up, and if it doesn't get cleaned up, then we will go out there and get it dealt with.
Is it going to be able to stay, or does it need approach or a
Through-
culvert?
Through the chair, that approach will not stay, no. Yeah,
'cause
we
what-
don't construct approaches out of pit run and black dirt. And it would need a culvert. So no, they have not applied for an approach out there, so that one needs to come out, and then we will give them the proper channel to follow.
I'll speak with you later with the person's name that you can deal with, give them a call.
Yeah,
Because what's happened is within this rain, all the water
Yeah.
went around it and washed the road out down the middle, so.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
One more question.
Councillor Hopkins?
Is there any sort of fine system in place that if he chooses not to remove said approach?
Through the chair, I do not believe we have a fine system. We would just go remove it and be dealt. That's how we would deal with it is. And then when they go to apply for approach, that's where we would have our abilities to say where it's going and how it's going, and you're building it to our standards virtually, right? Because then these new approaches do become Kneehill County assets, right? So ratepayers are building them. They do become our asset to maintain afterwards. So if they're not built to our standards, or wash out our road afterwards, because that's Kneehill County operations going to put in extra maintenance for somewhere that shouldn't have had it.
Can we, excuse me, CEO Cochran, can we just flag something here so we can bring it back for discussion on some sort of, yeah, a COW meeting to, if we can maybe come up with a solution on maybe charging some of these guys? Or some sort of remuneration?
Absolutely, we can add it to COW, but COW's not till September, is that all right? Okay, we'll be happy to do that then.
See that on my screen?
Okay, we're back at 9:37. There's a motion coming forth. Councillor Hoppins.
I move that council direct administration to bring back approach discussion to the next committee of the whole meeting in September.
Everybody understand the motion? Any concerns? All in favor? Carried. What should we go to? 4.3, what's the grants? Let's just do that. Grant.
5.11,
Is that the, oh,
that,
yeah, the grant one? Yeah. 6.1? 6.2.
5.11.
What's
That's why the
5.1?
planners are here.
Oh,
Do you have to wait till 10 then?
Nope.
Oh, the first one, sorry,
okay.
that's not a.
Sorry about that. Let's go to 5.1. Planning.
I get you.
Good morning.
morning.
Hi,
Carry on.
how's everyone today? Okay, I'm back to present, this is the right folder, okay, sorry. This is to do second and third reading for the Hatarian Brethren Church of Huxley has applied to redesignate 5.3 acres of the Northwest 293422 west of the 4th from the Ag District to the Light Industrial District for the manufacturing of commercial products. Under the Municipal Government Act, applications for the redesignation of land require a public hearing before the bylaw creating a new district can be adopted. The first reading of this proposed bylaw was given on May 12, 2026. This is the mechanism for getting an application into the queue. All information and questions regarding the application were brought forward at the public hearing held on June 9, 2026. As per the MGA, council must hear any persons or group of persons who claim to be affected by the proposed bylaw. Any landowner who feels they will be impacted by the proposed development, either positively or negatively, has the opportunity to come and speak about the matter directly at the public hearing. Affected parties can also submit their comments in writing. As council reviews and discusses the content of the public hearing, it can be approved, amended, or defeat the proposed bylaw. The public hearing process is a legislated process. Participating in the public hearing is the legislated method to provide comments to council for consideration for applicants wanting to redesignate their land. Once the public hearing is closed, no additional information should be considered in the decision-making process. Redesignations are about the proposed use. A redesignation establishes a land use district and not a development permit. The redesignation focuses on the overall site suitability and not specific to development conditions. The Hatarian Brethren Church of Huxley is located along Township 344, which is also known as the Buffalo Jump Road. And access to this proposed site would be on Range Road 225, which is gravel. The corridor is located approximately 5.50 miles from the Provincial Park, Dry Island Park, and 6.2 miles from Highway 21. The northwest quarter consists of the Huxley Hatarian Brethren's registered cemetery, farm buildings, and corrals. Sorry. The quarter directly to the south contains the housing, school, and other accessory buildings for their operation. The remainder of the quarter will stay agriculture.
Questions? I have one. In the package that you've given us, shouldn't there be the letter from the Hibbs family on the affected owners? So we see everything that's,
That was in the public hearing package.
yeah, but
Yeah.
should it not be in here too?
We can get it and just
No, I'm just saying, going forward, it'd be nice.
Sure, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
one of the questions I have is, has all the concerns been addressed that you know of?
The concerns in Mr. Hibbs's letter?
Of the affected parties?
Okay, so the letter is in regards to the redesignation. We can only consider what is considered in the redesignation. Some of the points brought up in his letter were outside of the redesignation process. Would you like us to reply to Mr. Hibbs separately outside of this?
No, my question was, is that as long as we've got, it, like, his letter was addressing some stuff, and as long as it's been addressed from us, whatever he needed going forward.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. So in the process with the redesignation, we can only consider what's part of the redesignation in his letter. Other parts of the letter we can put out, we can respond, and we can have other departments like transportation respond back to the concerns that were brought up. But currently in the arena that we're in, we can only look at what's the redesignation part of the letter.
Yeah, Councillor Cunningham.
Yeah, I think you've heard me say this before, but this is the problem that I have, and I'm really excited for us to open our land use bylaw in July. Because as Ms. Morgan is saying, we can only respond to the redesignation piece. The unfortunate part for me is we ask ratepayers to write letters or to come publicly and express their concerns, but because of this, the way this one is, this will now become a permitted use. So even though we're hearing their concerns, it will be out of our hands to decide if those concerns that they brought forward are being addressed. I'm not saying the planning department won't, I'm pretty confident they will, but we sit here as council and listen to their concerns, and at the end of the day, we're not assured that those concerns are being taken care of. And I do feel bad for people when they come and express that. So again, that's gonna be my push for looking at some of these, and maybe it needs to be a discretionary use, so then at least we have the ability at MPC to make those decisions about whether the concerns have been addressed. So, if that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, you're the only one though that knows what I'm saying, so. Excellent, good.
It is
Okay.
something that we can do. We
No,
can,
it's
Okay.
just one of those things that I understand that. It's
Yeah.
just that we need to make sure as councillors that we're hearing our ratepayers.
and I totally respect that, and that's part of the process, and absolutely, if you get an opportunity to comment, you're going to take that opportunity to bring up all of your concerns. That isn't uncommon. We see that a lot in public hearings. So yes, there might need to be a process going forward. It's just really important to remember that the arena we're in right now is about the land use, and maybe there's something we can set aside that we put the letter out to other departments to respond in the future going forward. But currently, today, we are talking about the redesignation from ag to light industrial.
Yeah, that being said, is there more discussion on this? I know I want to continue a little bit of more discussion from what we talked about before. That being said, I mean, this all sounds nice and dandy and everything like that, but I mean, 5 trucks turns into 40. I can see that happening if this takes off. The other thing too is the way that this is set up. Like, I'd be very disappointed if all of a sudden we approve something like this and then I see the uses and all of a sudden it turns into a weed house. You know, that's what bothers me the most about stuff like this. We do give permission to change things and then all of a sudden it doesn't get there. And that doesn't look good on us.
No, absolutely.
And so I just want to make sure, and I don't know how we do that other than the land use bylaw being said, but it just seems to me that there's just not enough for me to go with this one for light industrial. There's just not enough information that is provided by the director, Tim, on what's actually going to happen. It's too flaky for me. That's just a comment.
So just to go back about turning into cannabis, there are other uses and permits that need to be permitted. That wouldn't be one of the ones that would be allowed in the light industrial without other permits. Yes, 100%. Sorry, and then this is a risk with a lot of development permits. Sorry, with redesignations. You know, financial reasons, there's a lot of things that people come in, they want to do things, and then they change. So it is something that you have to consider at every redesignation.
Councillor Olson.
Yeah, I would agree with Councillor Cunningham and Reeve McCook as well, but I think our hands are tied right now because we haven't, changed the bylaws. So as for now, and we never, do we ever get any more information than what we've gotten from Tim? Yeah. Yeah, so I think unfortunately, we're tied here. and we're gonna have to make, you know, a decision based on the same information that we've gotten over how many years, so. I guess, based on that, I would, move that council move second reading of proposed bylaw 1933 for the purposes of amending land use bylaw 1808 by redesignating 5.3 plus or minus acres on a portion of northwest 293422 west of 4 from agriculture district to light industrial district.
Any further comments or questions on that? Councilor Cunningham.
Yeah, and I agree with Councillor Olson. The only thing I would say is, for me personally, when I sit in that public hearing, like I said, after that's over, it's closed. So I just have to know in my head that I got all my questions answered and that I'm very clear about the purpose that they're intended. So that's kind of where I go with it, yeah.
You can't vote?
Counselor Whit,
Pardon?
He wasn't here for the public hearing.
Counselor,
Oh, sorry. I thought he just didn't like our tone. Yeah, okay. There's a motion on the floor.
we should make a note in the minutes that Counselor Whitstock removed himself due to not being here for the.
Not being present last meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other concerns on that motion? All in favor? Opposed? Defeated.
Thank you.
(6-3) for grants?
No, 5.32.
Yeah, let's just jump to that. The grants. I just want, this will take real quick. The grant process, I talked about it prior. I'd like to revisit, have something come back so we can revisit that policy. Just to maybe look at capping some numbers and, you know, who gets what and stuff like that. So if we could make a motion to go to Cal or whatever.
Sure. Oh, if I can speak on it. I did take your ideas in consideration, so I can put in something in our policy that organizations that provide services or programs that are the responsibility of another level of government, including healthcare, health, education, libraries, and social services, and putting a maximum amount for grants. Would you would you consider like a maximum amount for a capital grant and then a different maximum amount for community events?
Correct, and that's why I'd like to discuss that with council, or
Yep.
council have a discussion.
I can bring that
now.
to the September
Yeah.
committee of the whole meeting.
Thank you. It's gonna take more than 10 minutes. No?
Shouldn't.
Yeah, let's go to 5.3, well, Deb's not here. Okay, but let's go 5.3.2. Yeah.
I haven't even seen the other delegation walk in.
No. Okay, stop signs at railroad tracks. I brought this forth. So
Yeah.
hopefully we got some information I'm gonna be happy with, or,
I got some information for you anyways. Hello, hi. For anyone that hasn't met me yet, I am Amber. I am the second hay in the building. So yeah, anyways, the stop sign decision. Let me see here. So I have, for like the discussion portion, in response to your question, was Transport Canada is responsible for railway signaling design and safety standards. These standards apply to railway companies subject to the Minister of Transportation's jurisdiction under the Railway Safety Act and Canada Transportation Act. CN Rail operates under the jurisdiction of Transport Canada, which has the authority to install stop signs at railway crossings to improve safety. The grade crossing regulations, SOR 2014-275, in reference to the Railway Safety Act, detail public grade crossings and private grade crossings. The Railway Alberta Act also includes provisions for the governance of railways. Stop signs along the Kneehill County highway or roadway, 3-digit provincial road, or in any community within our jurisdiction may be enforced by community peace officers who have the Alberta Traffic Safety Act on their appointment through the Solicitor General. Enforcement of the Traffic Safety Act is the discretion of the community peace officer within their regular public safety duties. Any TSA violation must be appealed through the court process. Kneehill County has a traffic safety bylaw under which the CAO has the authority to approve traffic control signage on county roads. This violation was written under the TSA, not under our bylaw. As with any TSA infraction, an appeal process is available through the court system. So,
Why are we enforcing a third party, their property?
so
They have their own police.
absolutely.
They put up the stop signs. They put up the stop signs erratically, as far as I'm concerned. There's no rhyme or reason why they put them up, other than they told me one time it was for, like sight distance, which is BS, because that's not true.
So through the chair, as community peace officers, we have like multiple levels of jurisdiction that we have to operate through, right? I have my power through the Solicitor General of Alberta, and anything kind of goes like provincial, federal, then municipal. And unfortunately, there's like over 1,000 pages in the TSA. Our job is to enforce the TSA. If we see a sign and it's on a roadway, then we can enforce it, and it is up to the courts to decide if that needs to be changed or not. Like, that's not up to us. We have a ton of roadways, a ton of signs. Honestly, there's no operational feasibility for me to have every single sign memorized, unfortunately. But I'm also not judge, jury, and executioner, and if anyone believes that I've done anything wrong, they are more than willing to, or more than able to go and challenge that in court. Like, that is everyone's right, right?
My question is yes, you have the authority to on a road. Those signs aren't on a road. They're on third-party, private property. CEO Cochran.
Through the reef to all of council. So unfortunately, we don't get to choose which stop signs we enforce, whether they're from the railway or whether they're from a corner. If one of our officers sees somebody whip through a stop sign, it's their obligation to stop them and provide them with either a warning or a ticket. In this case, it was a ticket. And as our peace officer said, they can go to court and they can fight that ticket, but we don't get to choose which piece or what stop signs we enforce. It's a stop sign. Someone goes through it. We see it, it's dangerous, we enforce.
Did you have a comment?
CEO Cochran got most of my points there. I think just one of the main things that I was going to bring up as well is it's the TSA that the peace officers are following. So that's a pretty dangerous precedence if we tell them not to follow certain stop signs, and then it opens the county up to a huge liability if someone blows a stop sign and gets into an accident.
Okay, that being said, I'm not in favor of it. I'm not in favor of our enforcement giving tickets to our ratepayers on stop signs on the railroad track, especially when they're sitting up high on the ground and waiting for somebody just to cross it. There isn't anybody that stops at these stop signs, especially towards an elevator. So I don't know if there's anything we can do. I'd like to send a letter to Transport Canada or even the railroad saying like, shake your head, you guys. Maybe what you should do is you want everybody to stop at your stop signs, put railroad crossings up. But, thanks for the information. CO copy.
Through the brief to all of council, so one thing that council could do is to advise us to educate on stop signs as opposed to giving out tickets. That's where the control is, so we can choose to educate our residents when they go through a stop sign. But again, running through stop signs is dangerous, and we know this, and I know many people that have been killed in their cars from running through stop signs. So we can't allow the peace officers to pick and choose which TSA regulations they enforce and which ones they don't. They're hired to do their job, they do it. If you as council choose a lighter weight approach, then that's up to you to provide that motion for us.
Any other questions or concerns, or is it just me? Councillor Olson.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this is a hill we need to die on. I don't know that we need to send a letter. I do agree that we just get, industries that, can do this without, approaching the counties and other places. But yeah, as far as sending a letter, I don't know if this is something we need to get involved in, other than a resident could take this to court and challenge it.
Councillor Hopkins?
I'll put my 2 cents in, and unfortunately, as much as I don't like getting a Traffic Safety Act infraction, I've seen a lot of unfortunate mishaps when people don't stop at stop signs, and maybe it's just a reminder for us all. Unfortunately, one individual took one for the team, and he has the right to challenge that. But maybe this is a lesson that we all need to stop at a stop sign, and as much as we disagree with it, stop at a stop sign, it does slow us down, but at the same time, it could be a matter of life or death. So I've seen the carnage that happens when people don't stop at stop signs.
Any other comments, concerns? Councillor Cunningham?
Not a concern as much as just if there is a crossing in our county that we feel, should be more of a controlled crossing, that's certainly something we could advocate for too with the rail companies. I don't know how much leverage they place on our comments, but it never hurts to try, so.
Councillor Woodstock?
I think I may be wrong, but I remember trying it once and they said, yeah, you can go ahead with flashing lights and arms and all that, but you get to pay for it. So it's not cheap.
Any other comments, concerns? We're just going to accept this as information. Yeah. Thank you.
Caroline can put her arm behind you.
Okay, let's get on to this public hearing 3.2. It's redesignation from country residential to agriculture. I see our people are here. We need to go into Councillor Woodstock.
Make the motion to go into public hearing at this time.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, I shall call for a motion. Okay, we've done that. We go into motion for 1935, open to 10 o'clock or 10:02. I would like to remind the public that if they wish to speak to the bylaw, they should register their name on the speakers list. There will be an opportunity when I'm done to go through the speakers list, and I'll ask for one final time if there's anyone else that wants to present or to speak. At this time, I'd like to introduce the members of the council, and we'll start at my far right.
Morning, thanks for coming in. Jerry Whitstock, Division 3.
Merle Anderson, Division 1.
Good morning, thanks for coming. Laura Lee Michelle Cunningham, Division 5.
Lonnie McCook, Division 7.
Morning, Mr. Ryder. Richard Hoppins, Division 6.
Lowell Olson, Division 4.
Good morning, Darcy Penner, Division 2.
Okay, so today's public hearing procedure will be followed by, according to procedural bylaw 1919. A copy of the procedures is attached in the package, and additional copies can be found in the recording secretary's desk. The public hearing package can also be downloaded from the Kneehill County website. The website address and QR code for quick access are displayed on the presentation screen. I will now ask our Planning and Development Department to come forward and make the presentation.
All right, good morning again.
Morning.
Okay, this is an application received from the owners of the portion of Northwest 6, 3223 west of the 4th, and they would like to redesignate 20 acres from the back to the Ag District. It's currently country residential. The property is located approximately 0.368 miles north of the town of Three Hills along Range Road 240, which is a hard surface. Most of the area is designated agricultural with 3 other country residentials in close proximity and 1 direct control district to the west of the proposed redesignation. In the country residential district, landowners are not allowed to have livestock. The current owners want to raise chickens, sheep, and cows and have for their own use. The property currently has 1 dwelling on the parcel that was converted into a duplex by the previous owners. The agricultural district has been included as an attachment to show the uses that can be reintroduced into the Ag District. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we're live. Okay, and again, this is the Northwest 6, 3223 west of the 4th, and we're going from country residential back to the Ag District. This was placed in the Three Hills Capital June 3rd, 10th, and 17th. Notices were sent to adjacent landowners and agencies within 1 mile of the referral, and this was also placed on our Kneehill County website. This is located off the 240, which is a hard surface, and the residence was previously renovated into a duplex. The parcel was redesignated to country residential in 1998, Bylaw 1385. The developer at the time intended to create a multi-lots and sell them. Planning considerations. In part of the agricultural MDP, goal number 1 is to preserve agricultural heritage of the county. Now, goal number 2 is to ensure that agriculture continues to be a viable and thriving component of the county's economy. Policy number 1, all lands in the county are designated as agricultural lands unless otherwise designated by the Municipal Planning Commission, as approved in the statutory plan, the land use bylaw, or provincial legislation. Policies number 2, the county shall continue to support a viable agricultural economy by allowing farm operations to engage in different types and sizes of agricultural operations. Part of the economic municipal development plan is goal number 2, to create opportunities that will provide a variety of development options that will diversify and strengthen the county's economy. And part of the growth management in the municipal development plan is objective number 3, to accommodate sustainable residential, commercial, industrial, and/or mixed-use neighborhoods. Planning considerations out of our land use bylaw 1808 is the agricultural district. And here are your permitted and discretionary uses. Other planning considerations when we look at a redesignation are the type and scale of the proposed use, suitability of the site for proposed use, compatibility with surrounding and existing future lands, municipal service availability, emergency access, adequacy of parcel size, consistency with statutory and non-statutory plans and land use bylaw, and need and benefits of the development to the community. Here are the site photos. This is the entrance into the property that we are discussing today. And here is on the left is the distance to the town of Three Hills, which is the 0.368. On the right is orange is the country residential, blue is your direct control, and green is agriculture. And then this is just looking at the parcel up close, again the area, and then the land use zoning is on the bottom right there. And then here is the road looking north on Range Road 240. And we are looking south on Range Road 240. And then this is, the back of the property is the top left. And then some of the buildings within the property are on the top right. The one on the bottom right, we're looking at the internal driveway to the west. And pretty self-explanatory, again, from the Range Road. We received no letters in favor. We received none in opposition. Comments noted were all standard or no concerns from the agencies that were referred to. And if this is successful in redesignation, the development permit process will be handled and the details specific will be required for future development. Consideration for second and third reading of bylaw 1935 will be presented at the July 21st, 2026 council meeting.
Thank you. Any questions for the planner? I'll ask the applicant to come forward now and make their presentation.
I have the mics on.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for hearing out this application. I appreciate you taking the time. Yeah, we bought this parcel of land to be able to raise some animals. And so to be able to go back from country residential, which limits how many animals that we can use for our family or how many we can raise, to agriculture so that we can, yeah, raise some animals for our benefit and make good use of that land and hopefully, you know, make it prosper.
Any questions for the applicant? Councillor Cunningham.
Not really a question, but I just kind of thought, we don't hear this a lot. Usually it's the other way around, that people want to take ag and put it into something else. So to actually have land go back into agriculture kind of makes me happy, actually. And when I read your letter and what your intentions are, it kind of sounds like you want to live off the land. So yeah, that's good to see. And welcome to the area, to Division 5 especially.
Thank you.
Okay, being that we don't have too many, thanks for your presentation. We don't have too many guys in opposition, so we won't even give them 10 minutes to speak.
No.
Does the council have any further questions for the applicant or administration? Satisfied with all the information you got? Everybody's good? Okay. I'd like to remind you that once the public hearing is adjourned, no further information on the matter will be received by council. I now declare the public hearing closed at 10:11. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got a while.
powers.
5.3? Or are they gone?
We have to
Oh, pardon me, Councillor Woodstock?
come out of.
I'd like to move we come out of public hearing and back into regular council meeting at this time.
All in favor? Carried. Back in public at 10:12.
Good morning, Council. Today I bring forward an RFD for the 2026 staff golf tournament and Christmas party. We've historically hosted an annual golf tournament and a Christmas party as part of the employee engagement and recognition. Planning for the 2026 golf tournament has commenced with a tentative booking secured for September 11th. The event is expected to include 18-hole tournament lunch and a post-event supper and prizes. The annual Christmas party is also planned for late 2026, consistent with best practices, and will include a staff recognition component, which is long service. For participation in the golf tournament is Kneehill County permanent staff and council. For the Christmas party, it's permanent staff and their families, members of council and their families, Torrington Fire Department and their families, members at large and their families, and FCSS staff and their families. As part of the Christmas event, we typically provide a small gift to children under 12 for the staff of council members, staff members, members at large, and fire department members, and we arrange a visit with Santa. The approach has caused, we started doing this a couple of years back just to make it more family friendly, and it increased the participation just because people were able to come in and not have to find babysitters or find somebody to take care of their kids. So we did it as kind of just to increase participation. These events contribute to employee morale. The inclusion of council, volunteer groups, and families in the Christmas event supports broader organizational and community relationships. And the family-oriented approach to the Christmas party has been a key factor in the popularity and success. Administration will continue to manage costs responsibly, including sourced locally where appropriate. Is there any questions?
Yeah, I'll start her off. One thing is, I'm not against Christmas parties, I'm not against the golf. I am against administration and CEO putting this on. This is stuff that should come directly from council. This shouldn't be an entitlement from administration. It should be in the hands of council saying that we appreciate what you're doing. We'll put on this. I don't think the administration should be putting this on and think they're entitled to have this. I'm not in favor of the golf tournament after what I heard from some employees from the last few golf tournaments. You know, the Christmas party is different and stuff like that, but I mean, it's something that we need to discuss as a council. I think that we should decide whether there's going to be a Christmas party or whether there's going to be a golf tournament, not administration. Especially when money is being funded or coming out of the operating budget. Out of the operating budget, excuse me, Mrs. Cochran, or CO Cochran, I'll get to you in a minute. Out of the operating budget, that stuff is hidden. We didn't get a chance to see that. And we've asked for that before. So that's where I'm coming from on that. I mean, that's just my opinions on stuff like this, and I got ratepayers that are looking at it the same way.
Okay, to the reef as basically as for being hidden, that's why I'm here, to...
No, don't get me wrong. Pardon me. I'm not going that way against you. It's just, it was hidden before.
Okay.
And I appreciate you bringing this forth, along with the other stuff you brought forth too. It's great. It's showing transparency.
Yes.
CO Cochran.
Through the reef to all of council. So firstly, this was in the budget and it was identified through our budget process. Council had every opportunity to comment and or cancel them. Given that we didn't get any comment during the budget process, we felt it important to carry forward and bring it to council for an RFD. These are things that happen year over year and they are a benefit and appreciation to our staff. If the tone isn't there to appreciate the staff through a Christmas party or golf tournament, we'd be happy to remove them from the budget. But it was transparent, it was open, and it is our 2 opportunities a year we have to appreciate the staff for the hard work they do. Limited money, if we were to put it in council's hands, it's uncommon for council to plan administrative events. That's what we're here for. We pass the budget with you, we are responsible for the funding, and we plan the event with your support. If this was a council-approved project, this would be under your strategic projects, but I'm uncertain how we would move forward with it being a council event.
Councillor Woodstock.
Thank you, Mr. Reeve. The reason that I think it's before us is because we're here to approve whether it happens or not. It's happened before. We've had these events previously, but we've never had the event without council saying, yes, we are in favor and we're going to go ahead with it. And that is exactly why it's brought forward here, is for us to either say yay or nay to these projects. So I'm not trying to defend anybody here, but this is what this RFP is about. Are we going to have a golf tournament and a Christmas party, or are we not? That's my view of this whole thing.
Councillor Olson.
Yeah, I'm not a big golf tournament or Christmas party type of guy, but I do believe this is important. I'm glad it was brought forward. I do remember part of this earlier when we were getting a ton of information. I was disappointed that we did not have a Christmas party this last year on whatever reasons. But I do think it's important. I do think it's for my part, yeah, I would definitely be in favor of this continuing.
Councillor Hopkins.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm with Councillor Olson. I was very disappointed last year when the Christmas party did not happen. It's a chance and an opportunity to sit down at a table with your coworkers and have a laugh, a smile, enjoy the day without thinking about the pressures of work. And I do remember this being in our budget and discussed briefly. There wasn't too much, but it was definitely discussed in our budget. And I am a firm believer that getting together at random times throughout the year is a morale booster and keeps the eye on the prize at the end of the golf tournament or the Christmas party, and keeps our staff in good spirits. That's my 2 cents. I'm in favor of this. I'm also a bit of a social butterfly.
Councillor Cunningham.
Excuse me, you can't steal my title. No. Okay, so I have a lot of comments on this, so it's surprising. So one thing that I would like to see is it not called, like, it was an administrative event. I would like both events to be administrative and council events, right? Because I think what I see is we want to have a bit of collaboration between administration and council. I know I had, a council member ask me, about who works for the county, and I think this is a good opportunity. I know when It was all staff day. Council the last term served breakfast. I mean, there was people that I didn't know worked for the county, and it was quite interesting, right? So that would be my request, is that it turn more from just administrative event to administrative and council. And I know I had mentioned to CEO Cochran, I don't think the Christmas party should just fall on administration. Richard just volunteered as a social butterfly that him and I from council could help serve on that committee. Like, I don't want to walk into the Christmas party just because I'm at council and have it all laid out. I want to be there helping setting up the chairs and, you know, help with the planning. I mean, I just don't think, for me personally, that I shouldn't have to put some work into it. So that's one comment from me. I don't golf, but I mean, you know, a couple times I did go and have supper, and it was great. I love the line in here where, like, prizes sourced locally where appropriate. You folks have heard from me time after time. I'm not a fan of prizes coming from Costco, Starbucks, Tim Hortons. We have an economic development department, and I think we're working really hard to try to promote our local businesses within Kneehill County. So where possible, if we can highlight our locals, that's amazing. I mean, Reeve Hoppins did mention the budget, so maybe Ms. Cochran, if you can highlight where in the budget that is, then that can help clarify that. Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed too. I mean, my husband will come to one thing, maybe per year, and that's the Christmas party. So yeah, I think it's important. But I know what the Reeve's saying. These are taxpayer dollars, and I think we have to be cognizant of that. I own my own business. If I choose to have a big bash or whatever, that's fine. That's on my dime. But in my experience, especially with these two events, I don't think that we're misusing taxpayers' funds, in my opinion. So yeah, just my thoughts on that.
Councilor Penner?
Yeah, I'm happy with both these events, and I guess with that, I would make the motion that council approves the 2026 Kneehill County Staff Golf Tournament and Christmas Party with costs to be funded through the 2026 operating budget.
Any other questions? I'd like this to be a recorded vote. Any other questions or concerns on that? Councilor Cunningham?
So Reeve, I know you're concerned about the operating budget part. So would you want within that motion to there be like an amount, or would that would help? That would help you? Is that possible for administration?
Through the chair, the budget amount for each event is $12,500.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Any other concerns or questions? All in favor? Opposed?
Just a quick point of order. I do believe with a recorded vote, Reeve, you're supposed to ask everybody individually.
No.
No? Don't have to?
According to our procedural bylaw, you ask who's all in favor, and then who's opposed.
Okay.
Have we got that? Or everybody's, okay. Carried.
Thank you.
Five 5.3.1.
Hello again. So this one is the road ban RCMP stats report for like the last little while. So as a part of the protective service report, we are including stats from RCMP detachments, enforcement officer statistics and events, emergency management, and fire service updates. Kneehill County has 5 RCMP detachments serving in our area: Three Hills, Innisfail, Drum, Bylaw, and/or Airdrie Rural, they're also known as. and Olds. 4 detachments provide quarterly reports that are based on council's priorities for our community. Innisfail provides reporting, however, it is not applicable to Kneehill County and it is such a small area. Community priorities for RCMP set by council in April of 2026 were rural crime prevention, community safety focus, visibility in rural communities, road safety, partnering with Kneehill CPOs in enforcement, education, and engagement, and youth engagement. Each year, council sets priorities for RCMP. Administration has provided RCMP statistical reporting along with updates from protective services, including enforcement services, emergency management, and fire services, to support council's review. The purpose of this RFD is to review RCMP statistics and review protective services reporting, including road ban reports. So section 1, RCMP reporting January to March 2026. As part of their accountability to our community, RCMP are providing council with reporting on statistics, community engagements, and community priorities. These are attached for each department. Do we have to go over them or are we good? Because I know we have like a report from each of the detachments, don't we? We're good, just keep going? Okay. Section 2, enforcement services, March 15th to May 15th. Enforcement within Kneehill County. So this is the statistics for myself and Ming as POs within the county. Traffic citations, we issued 35 warnings, 44 violation tickets for speeding, stop signs, and registration. We had 0 animal control files, 1 unsightly file, and 2 other bylaw files. We investigated 2 suspicious vehicles that we found. We had 309 hours of rural patrols, including within hamlets and road bans. 31 targeted patrols, totaling 4.5 hours for specific road complaint areas and school zones. Did 2 events, the bike rodeo in Linden and Kneehill FCSS Kids Camp. I did 10 assists for other agencies, so that's 7 for fire and 3 for RCMP. We had positive public interactions continuing to increase, with residents expressing appreciation for officer visibility on county roads and in hamlets, as well as other collaborative efforts with the RCMP. Training this month included Alberta Municipal Enforcement Association sessions on bylaw enforcement, issuance of orders, and officer safety. Within contracted municipalities, where we charge for the hours, we had 4 contracted bylaw files and 17 contracted hours. For road ban report, we had an uptake of applicants who are completing 1 to 5 hauls and reapplying for new permits. We had 1 rejection for business development, not agricultural use. And despite over 2 times more permits being issued, we are down 200 projected hauls from 2025. So yeah, we have 40 patrols, 23 patrol hours. We found 5 unloaded trucks during that, 2 legally loaded trucks, 2 trucks that were overweight of the weight exemptions, but they were exempt through the Kneehill County permitting. Then there was 0 overweight warnings and 0 overweight violation tickets. We did issue 18 overweight exemption forms and 570 hauls in total. And then I'm passing it on to Dan.
So I'll cover the emergency management and fire services. So from March to June 5th on emergency management, we had our functional exercise on June 2nd and 3rd. We did have some council attend that, so I hope you guys gained some good knowledge of what's there. We had 70 attendees on day 1 and 90 attendees on day 2, including agency representatives, Central Regional Hazard Incident Management Team, partners and neighbors. A lot of good collaboration on those 2 days. A lot of good information passed back and forth. Our livestock plan was rewritten and portions are in draft. We're working on further consultation on this in the future. For fire, we've had 7 fire occupancies and inspections. We did have 1 fire investigation under the Fire Safety Codes accreditation. It was 1 structure, and we've had 6 occupancies done. Carbon tender that has been ordered through canoe purchasing. The Linden engine, pre-construction meetings are complete. Specs have been agreed to. We are currently signing the production package, and once that's done, our truck will be in the lineup for being built. We've received a training grant for $4,579. We are organizing a pump operator training for next month, July 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, with their exam on the 25th. We have, Deputy Reeve, we've got 12 students, but correct me if I'm wrong, but we've got members from just about all the departments in the county participating in this one. The Alberta Fire Chiefs Conference, I attended that at the end of May. Some good knowledge there and some good things we brought back. One of the key things that we did find out is one course that is offered by our county is the 1002 driver's portion. If we can prove that all the fire departments have that, that can lead to some savings on our insurance for fire departments and for our policies. So we're actively looking and talking with fire departments to make sure that they have that 1002 driver portion completed. It's been a project of Deputy Reeve Hoppins and myself for a couple of years to get most people on this because there is no defensive driving course for driving emergency vehicles. The 1002 driver portion, which is National Fire Prevention Association standard, allows us to test for things that you don't test in any other one, which is driving lights and sirens. All the other courses cover how to drive the truck. This one covers how to drive with adrenaline with lights and sirens. That's all I have for that. Thank you.
Any questions? How many, did you go down to, were you the one climbing the, how did you make out? And if you were last, what program are you on now?
Well, we look at it as a finished result as opposed to times. I did do it 20 minutes faster than last year. It took me an hour and 28 minutes last year. It took me an hour and 8 minutes this year. Our team, which comprised of 7 Torrington firefighters, myself, 4 firefighters, including the chief from Three Hills, 2 firefighters from Trochu, 1 firefighter from Linden, 1 firefighter from Acme. We identified ourselves as Kneehill firefighters. Our team raised over $23,000 for cancer research. I had a personal goal of $500 and raised $1,191. So my climb was dedicated to a friend, Rob Evans, who's the chief for Redwood Meadows. I've got a sister who's fighting cancer right now. My mom passed away from cancer. So that's why I did the climb. You get a lot of time in your head as you're climbing those stairs. But it's quite the feat to get to the top. 1,370 steps, 57 flights. We had a pretty good team that worked together, so thank you, Mr. Reeve.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was good to see, and be proud. Councillor Hawkins.
Yes, thank you for climbing those stairs.
Where were you?
I was busy, yeah. I was in the trenches. I just also like to note that on that fundraising, Chief Murray Fenton from Three Hills was the #1 top raiser for the province out of the whole event, and Kneehill County placed second in total fundraising. So congratulations, thank you very much. Yeah, I haven't quite convinced myself to try it for next year. Yeah, I'll take the elevator and meet you at the top.
One thing I will also add is firefighter Jesse LeMay from Trochu was our second highest fundraiser. He also raised almost $5,200. So we had some pretty significant fundraisers there. So.
Councillor Cunningham.
Yeah, these Reeve and Deputy Reeve both said it well, but yeah, I did see it on social media, and yeah, it just made me very proud that so many local people were involved, and yeah, like said, Murray Fenton was the top fundraiser. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, thank you for that, and thank you for sharing your personal ties to that too. Yeah, that means a lot. So yeah, good work all around. And yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, I did attend the functional exercise days, had done that last term as well, but yeah, it's very interesting to watch everything go on, and I always leave feeling very confident that we're very well taken care of here in Kneehill County and area, so thank you for that.
Okay, any other comments? Thank you. We'll just accept that as information.
Correct, yep.
Thank you.
sitting here so quietly,
Two. Oh,
smiling, excited.
okay, let's go to 6.2.
Good morning, Council. Today, I'm bringing forward the 2027 budget guidelines for Council's consideration. Prior to detailed budget development, administration is seeking Council's input regarding the principles and considerations that should guide preparation of the 2027 operating budget, project budget, as well as the forecasts for operating and projects. When we look at those different components, so as Council is aware, we have the operating budget, which covers day-to-day operations. We have the project budget, which covers infrastructure, studies, things that are outside of the normal scope of day-to-day things. And then we also have forecasts for both the operating budget and for the project budget, which provide us with a longer-term view of what's coming up in the county in order to facilitate good decision-making on an annual basis. The guidelines in this report have been reviewed and updated to align with the current council's priorities. The underlying principles of responsible financial management and long-term financial sustainability remain unchanged, but the updated guidelines provide administration with direction that reflects council's expectations on service delivery, infrastructure investment, efficiency, and fiscal sustainability. So there's a couple components of this report. There's kind of the guiding principles, and then there's some other considerations of things that administration is anticipating will impact the 2027 budget process. So the core principles are first and foremost alignment with council's strategic plan. The primary guiding principle for this is that alignment in order to ensure that administration is developing a budget that aligns with council's priorities and allows council to make decisions in alignment with that strategic plan. The second is sustaining existing service levels. So council establishes service levels for administration to implement and maintain. Budget recommendations will be developed with the objective of sustaining existing service levels or adjusted levels as directed by council. This means that we're paying attention to the things that council has said during the year, and so we're aligning that with what has happened within council for the service levels that are planned for 2027. Anything that is significant in terms of changing service levels will be presented to council for consideration and direction. So we'll make sure that we highlight those changes so council's aware of what that impact is on the operating budget. The third is mitigate increases in municipal property tax. Property tax is the primary revenue source for the county and a key consideration during budget development. This principle means administration will seek opportunities to mitigate increases in municipal property tax while balancing service delivery expectations, infrastructure requirements, reserve adequacy, legislative obligations, and long-term financial sustainability. Then we have identifying process improvements and efficiencies. This means administration is going to continually evaluate processes, technology, service delivery methods, and organizational practices to identify opportunities for increased efficiency and effectiveness. This means there might be recommendations including process improvements, technology investments, service delivery enhancements, or other initiatives intended to maximize value for ratepayers while maintaining service levels. We also will continue to implement and monitor a proactive infrastructure renewal strategy. This means that we're going to continue to strengthen long-term asset management to ensure infrastructure investments are prioritized, sustainable, and align with service delivery expectations. Project investments will be evaluated in the context of life cycle requirements, service delivery expectations, risk management, and long-term financial sustainability. And then the last guiding principle is reviewing and recommending adjustments to service fees and rates as necessary. The service fees and rates provide an additional important revenue source for the county when you take out property taxes. We will review those fees and rates during the budget process, and we may recommend adjustments based on service delivery costs, legislative requirements, benchmarking, and council direction. So those are core principles when we're looking at developing both budgets and forecasts in terms of how we guide what's included in that budget before it ever comes forward to council. We also have some other considerations that are typically external factors or emerging issues that may influence the budget process. These considerations are identified within this document, but the reality, the impact of them and further discussion of them will actually occur during the budget process itself. The first is assessment shifts and taxation impacts. The annual budget establishes the total municipal property tax revenue required to support county operations, projects, and reserve contributions. When the budget is prepared, the upcoming assessment values and assessment shifts between classes are not yet known. As a result, council's budget decisions are focused primarily on determining the overall municipal tax requirement rather than the specific tax impact to individual property classes. Once annual assessments are finalized, we then analyze assessment growth and shifts among the different classes and provide taxation options for council's consideration. Changes in assessment distribution may affect how municipal tax is allocated between property taxes, even if the overall tax requirement remains unchanged. This is a trend council has seen for many years now, where we have residential growth faster than non-residential growth, which even when total municipal taxation maintains level, there's still some changes between the different taxation classes for individual properties. And then taxation considerations. So we understand that taxation has a direct impact on residents, businesses, agricultural operators. The objective is to balance service delivery expectations, infrastructure investment, and long-term financial sustainability while minimizing overall tax increases where practical. Again, we go back to that residential market growth has outpaced all other property classes. And in order to look at this, council may consider the tax rate ratios, assessment shifts, reserve utilization, and other strategies while establishing annual tax rates. Where significant assessment shifts or unforeseen factors create taxation pressures that were not anticipated during budget deliberations, council can consider budget amendments or the strategic use of reserves to mitigate impacts and support a measured approach to taxation. Then we look at provincial impacts. There's regulations, legislation, programs, assessment frameworks, all have an impact on county operations. Some of the most significant ones are the police funding model. This continues to create financial pressures for municipalities. And then subject to the legislative requirements and council direction, we may consider implementing a dedicated policing levy to increase transparency and clearly communicating policing costs to ratepayers. This would improve public awareness of provincially mandated policing costs while ensuring these expenditures are appropriately funded. This would mean that it would be reflected slightly differently within the operating budget for next year, and it would be reflected differently on tax notices as a component of the provincial piece of that notice. There's also Bill 28 legislative changes. There's continued changes from a provincial level that affect municipal operations, including governance, financial reporting, taxation, and service delivery. Administration will monitor the implementation of legislative amendments, including those introduced through Bill 28 and any future provincial initiatives. And we'll make sure that anything that is a significant impact will be documented during the budget process so that council is aware of what fluctuations in the budget are directly in alignment with changes at a provincial level. Looking at a little bit into the future, there's the assessment model review and mature asset strategy. So there's still ongoing changes to that review, and while we don't expect them to impact 2027 on its own, we know that in future years, any changes to the assessment model and a mature asset strategy may impact the county's assessment base, which would then also fundamentally impact the county's municipal taxation base. And we also look at provincial funding and grant programs. They remain an important part of municipal infrastructure, but funding growth has not kept pace with inflation and increasing infrastructure costs. So when we look historically, the amount of support from the province compared to inflation and the cost of doing business, they've not kept pace. So while they still remain an important part of funding, they're becoming less and less of the equation over time. Then we look at the impact of inflation. It continues to influence both operating and project costs. Inflation rates have moderated from recent highs, but increases in construction costs, contracted services, material, equipment, insurance, utilities, and other expenditures continue to affect the budget. We will continue to actively manage expenditures and seek opportunities to mitigate inflationary impacts where possible. However, certain costs remain beyond the county's control and may require budget adjustments to maintain service levels and support infrastructure investments. And then we look at long-term financial sustainability. Considering that budget decisions should consider both service delivery requirements and the long-term financial sustainability. considering financial, operational, and infrastructure-related risks that may affect future delivery and funding requirements. Administration will continue to support a responsible approach to reserve funding, asset replacement, debt management, risk management, and operational planning to maintain financial flexibility and support future service delivery requirements. One-time revenues and reserve funding should be used strategically to address one-time costs, infrastructure investments, or emerging priorities, and should not be relied on to support ongoing operating commitments. Recognizing that budget recommendations should consider both current year impacts and the cumulative effect of decisions on future budgets, reserves, infrastructure requirements, and taxation levels. Those form the guiding principles of what we're looking at when we go forward with the 2027 budget. The final component of this report is just a little bit of context onto the planned budget process. We look at, so internally, once we have some budget guidelines, we look at distributing templates to budget managers who then prepare an operating and project budget requests. Then there's review and prioritization of budget requests, compilation, analysis, and financial forecast from financial planning, review of the consolidated budget by leadership, and development of budget recommendations for council consideration. All of those things happen before budget sits in front of council. So there's a lot of work in the background to align it with what council's direction is, how administration is going to execute that, and then how council then makes decisions on the budget. And then we look to council deliberations. It will include a presentation of the annual budget framework, review of proposed projects, review of the proposed operating budget, council discussion, deliberation, direction, budget amendments, whatever that looks like, and then presentation of the final proposed budget for council adoption. And that is the conclusion of this report. I'm happy to answer any questions or direction from council.
Questions? Okay, I guess the only comment that I have is that going forward in this budget, well, this would be the first budget that we'll have a look at as a council, which isn't a partial budget that was presented before us. I'd like to see the budget a little tighter in the aspect where you talk to your operations managers and stuff like that. I don't want to see these budgets padded or inflated. They've been inflated over the last 20 years, and I want to see them tight and right to the point. Everybody knows that that's what we were looking for last time too. So that's the only comment I have. I understand how the process works. We've been through it once, kinda. Any other questions, comments? Councilor Cunningham?
Thank you for your presentation. If time allows on Thursday, I am virtually attending the RMA's putting out Bill 28 impact analysis. So not saying that I'll be any smarter, but as we know, it's you can have everything all set out, and if the province goes a different direction and changes lanes, then that kind of puts us back to, not to square one, but puts a little bump in the road. So we'll see if I learn anything from that. So, but it's always a challenge waiting.
Information? Motion?
There is a recommended motion.
Councilor Olson?
I would then make the motion that council approve the 2027 budget guidelines as presented and direct administration to prepare the 2027 operating and project budgets, the 2028 to 2030 operating forecast, and the 2028 to 2034 project forecast in accordance with the approved guidelines.
Any other questions, concerns? Motion, everybody is okay? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. We'll have a 10-minute, yeah, sorry. Okay, we're back in session at 11:01. Welcome to the delegation of the Three Hills Healthcare Auxiliary Society. I'll start with some introductions. To my far right, we'll start over here.
Good morning, thanks for coming in. Jerry Whitstock, Division 3.
Yeah, you can.
Merle Anderson, Division 1.
So Laura Lee Michelle Cunningham, Division 5, and I will recuse myself from the presentation due to being a member of the Three Hills Health Initiative Committee.
Okay, Lonnie McCook, Division 7.
Morning, Richard Hoppins, Division 6.
Lowell Olson, Division 4.
Darcy Penner, Division 2.
Okay, welcome, and we'll hear your presentation.
Good morning. I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity this morning. My name is Ruth Wold. I'm the chairperson with the Three Hills Health Initiative. And with me is Cheryl Taylor. Cheryl is the manager for the local long-term care unit and as well a volunteer on our committee. For those that aren't aware of the Three Hills Health Initiative, we are a group of volunteers that do fundraising for our local hospital. We fall under the umbrella of the hospital auxiliary, so that's why you will have seen that designation in our paperwork. We fall under them, which then enables us to do tax receipts, et cetera, for our fundraiser. And so we're very grateful to the hospital auxiliary over the years for allowing us to work under their umbrella. Our committee is a group of community volunteers as well as representatives from Alberta Health Services. And as I mentioned, we do fundraising for the local hospital. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you for past support. A couple of projects that you as a county have supported with in the past is our portable ultrasound machine on our emergency department, as well as our portable x-ray in our diagnostics and imaging department. And so we're coming to you today to share with you an exciting project. We're having a fundraising gala on December 12th at the Three Hills Community Center. And our project goal this year is to raise funds to support our local long-term care unit. Our long-term care unit is home to 23 residents. And I don't think I can emphasize home enough. It is their home. And as a committee, thanks to Cheryl putting forward a proposal, we have agreed to fundraise pending the funds that come in between now and December and then at our gala event. Our goal is to enhance the outdoor space. I'm sure lots of you have driven up to the hospital and you see the chain link fence as you're walking down the sidewalk to enter the hospital. And behind that chain link fence is a secure area for our 23 residents. These 23 residents call it home. They're from Three Hills community, they're from the county and beyond, and we want to make this environment more friendly for them and enhance the space. So our number one goal is to change the fencing. We want to enhance some lighting, refresh the gazebo, some new concrete work, trees, shrubbery, etc. And then as funds allow, we'll move inside and refresh 2 lounge spaces. I'm sure we all agree how we feel on a day like today with sunshine. We want our long-term care residents to experience that as well. So the current setup isn't quite as accessible as we want it to be or as friendly for taking family and friends out there. And so that is our goal for our December fundraiser. So we wanted to come and have the opportunity to meet you as a council and present our proposal to you. And so I really appreciate the opportunity for accepting our application for your grant process. And I would just give Cheryl opportunity if there was anything you want to add, Cheryl.
I don't think so. I think the residents, I know we talk about 23 residents, but if we take that and look, those 23 residents, majority of them are either from, let's say half of them are from the Three Hills, the town of Three Hills. I know the other half, about a third of them are actually within the Kneehill County or surrounding communities. And then it extends past, if we look at their family members, we look at their friends that are coming to visit, those are also from this area as well. And this is one way that we can kind of give back to the residents, but also to the community in itself, is just to enhance the quality of care for the residents and also for the purpose of visiting. If we can make it more comfortable for them, it makes it more comfortable for their visitors, then maybe we could actually have more activities that are happening for them. And I think it's just, we are extremely happy and excited that long-term care is part of this project and hopeful. Thanks.
Thanks, Cheryl. And we would be happy to take any questions. We did provide a package, so you have all that background information before you, but happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Everybody okay? Questions? Councillor Hoppins?
Oh, my mic is still on. There you go. I guess, thanks for the presentation. And is this, I know I read through the package that was presented to us. Just let me find it here. Here we go. It's my understanding that this isn't all going to happen at once. It'll kind of be in stages. Is that correct?
It will be pending the funds that come in, yes. So our number one project is that outdoor space. And then as funds, we're hoping to raise 125,000. So it's all dependent on support.
Okay.
And we do a live and silent auction at our gala. So we typically raise around 60,000 at our gala.
Okay. And is this your first stop on your journey to fundraising?
No, we do extensive fundraising. We've done, we sent a delegation to the town of Three Hills.
Okay.
You're our second delegation, but all of the committee members reach out to pretty much every business in Three Hills and surrounding communities as well.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Olson?
Yes, when's the last time any of these spaces have been renovated or redone? And then also, does AHS provide any money for these kind of spaces or not?
Well, AHS, back to your first question, the outdoor space was an add to the long-term care unit, but I cannot recall when. That's a significant amount of time ago. The long-term care unit is a secure unit, so it's electronic doors to get in and a code to get out. So sometime in the past, well before my time, even as site manager, that was done to add space to the unit for the residents. But as far as refresh with inside, it would be paint. And then Cheryl just led a project recently on the unit. If any of you have been on the unit, it's much more home-like than it was even a year ago, with murals, and the residents got to choose the colors of their doors. So there has been definitely some upgrades from Alberta Health Services, but we as a community group, volunteer group, felt we just wanted to go that step further.
Any other questions? Oh, Councillor Woodstock?
Well, first I'd like to thank you for coming in. I think it's a very worthwhile project.
Thank you.
My question is what you're looking for is a sponsorship money to put on the gala, and then the gala will be where the majority of the funds are collected to continue this project, or is the 10 for actually some of this project?
The 10,000 would 100% go to the project.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
we reserve a certain amount from each previous gala to get the gala going, to be
Oh, I
able
see,
to put it
okay.
on. And then we sell gala tickets, which I would encourage all of you to buy a gala ticket. We sell gala tickets to attend the event, which in turn is fundraising as well. So no, would not go to be putting on the gala, would directly go to the project.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate the clarification. For some reason anyway, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, if there's no further, oh, you okay? Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Could you send the social butterfly in that's out there, if she's in, out there? Thanks. If she's out there.
watching on her phone.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, cool. Let's go to 8, Silver Willows. You're going to present on that one? Okay.
Too many buttons. One, two, three. All right. So, through the chair, we have before us an application from the Silver Willows Senior Citizen Society requesting support under the county's grant program. This application falls under the community and event sponsorship category and is centered around a milestone community event. The request is to support an event celebrating the Society's 50th anniversary, taking place on July 11th, 2026 at the Torrington Community Center. The intent of the event is to bring residents together to reconnect, reflect, and celebrate the role of Seniors Society has played in the community over the past 50 years. There is also a strong focus on rebuilding community connection, particularly following the loss of the Senior Center due to fire, and providing a space for residents to come together again. The Society, can't say that word today, is requesting a county contribution of $3,100 towards the event. The event itself is designed as a full-day, multi-generational community gathering with several key components. First, a commemorative pancake breakfast, providing an opportunity for residents to gather informally and reconnect. Second, a series of traditional games, encouraging participation from children, families, and seniors alike. Third, entertainment throughout the day, including musician, clowns, and face painting, aimed at creating a celebratory and welcoming atmosphere. And finally, a dedicated spirit station, which will showcase photos saved from the fire and provide space for residents to share memories and ideas for the future of the community. Overall, the event is intended to strengthen community connection, support inclusion across all ages, and contribute to rebuilding efforts and community resilience. It also highlights the ongoing role of the Senior Society as an important social hub within a rural community. This is a request to support a community-driven anniversary event with clear social benefits and stronger volunteer involvement. The county budgets $70,000 annually for these type of requests, and to date we have allocated $37,250 to other projects in 2026, leaving a remaining balance of $32,750. I presented a pie chart at the last meeting, which shows the overall distribution of grant funding of the total budget. Approximately $20,600 is tied up in applications currently under review, which represents about 29% of the total budget. The county has provided very minimal funding to this organization in the past. The only time is in 2022 in the amount of $800, which was used towards the purchase of a coffee maker and a deep freeze. So council's options today are as follows: to approve the funding in the amount requested, or approve the funding in a different amount, or deny the request and receive this item for information. So that concludes my report, and I'll leave it to council for discussion.
Okay, thanks. Just a quick question on that. Torrington used to always hold the Torrington Days or whatever, they had the big dances and everything. Is that still going on? Is that part of this?
No, they haven't done those for quite a few years.
Okay, so this is totally separate?
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Olson?
Yeah, I think this is a great project initiative, not just because it's in Division 4, but also the fact that they've included, other age groups and families and children. I think that's great. It just kind of is more of a community thing in the end. And yeah, I'm definitely in favor of this.
I just wanted to add that they also have a lot of volunteer hours put into this project, which is exceptional. A lot of these events don't take place anymore because they don't have volunteer, and they seem to have quite the volunteer program in place.
Any other concerns, questions? Councillor Anderson?
All I've got to say is we're looking at $12,000 balance. We're 6 months into the year. We've gave quite a bit of money to this Torrington organization already. We're looking another $10,000 at the hospital. We're running short.
Councillor Hopkins?
Just for clarification, I don't think we've given anything to the Silver Willows.
$800.
Yeah, $800 to Silver Willows. I think what Councillor Anderson was referring to was the Wimborne is what we gave to.
Yeah, Wimborne, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that this is outrageous. I think Torrington's got a good community, and it's about, you know, if we can help them rebuild or get some pride back in there, it's a good thing. Councillor Cunningham?
Yeah, and I'm happy to offer up Councillor Olson if they want to do a dunk tank or anything. That would be, I think that would be a great addition to their event. So, yeah, we totally appreciate everything that the Silver Willows does, and, you know, having worked with seniors, I mean, this is just, they do great work there. So, with that, I'll make the motion that council approve funding in the amount of $3,100 to the Silver Willows Senior Center, let me try that again, to the Silver Willows Senior Citizen Society to support the hosting of their 50th anniversary celebration on July 11th, 2026.
Any other comments, concerns? Any rebuttal will be after council?
Yeah, I don't think the dunk tank was on the docket.
Okay.
It is now.
I can say after making my last mistake on numbers and who was getting the money, I'll volunteer.
Oh, there we go.
No, that doesn't, you're not dunking, you're buying steak. Okay, and if there's no other comments or concerns, there's a motion on the floor. All in favor? Carried. Okay, let's go to 8.2. Oh, do you? Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
So I will have trouble talking is what I'll have to. I will recuse myself. Oh boy, things are getting nasty around this table. I will recuse myself from this due to my involvement with the committee.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're my favorite.
Yeah. Okay, comments on the request? One of the things is that's why I wanted to revisit this with the committee is because I don't believe we should be giving hospitals money or schools. Number one, we pay taxes, and I mean, you know, this is if our ratepayers want to put something forth, they have an opportunity to put their own money forth. That's just my comment. I'm not saying that we don't do something for them. I just don't think we do 10,000. Is in my opinion. Councillor Olson?
Yeah, I guess this is more for administration or possibly Caroline. If it sounded like we give to this annually, is that correct?
Well, I'm just a little bit confused about this application because they have in the application that it was for a community event. So I'm assuming that they wanted us to, and plus they gave us all the information on the gala. So I just assumed that they wanted us to contribute to their gold sponsorship for the gala. They are asking $10,000, which would be the gold sponsorship, which is $5,000 plus. So then she said that our contribution wouldn't go towards the gala, that it was gonna go right to the project. And for a community capital project, you need 50% of that down, which they might have or might not have, dependent on how they do at their gala, how much support they get at their gala. So, in the past, yes, we have provided them in the past. We gave them $5,000 in 2023 for their gala and another $2,000 in 2020 for their gala. So it's not annually, but whenever they have one, we usually do support them.
The way I read that also was that they were looking for a sponsorship. Councillor Woodstock clarified that, and I mean, so I think we got to stick with what they actually are asking for on the paper. like it's a totally different situation.
And I believe the town of Three Hills did provide them $5,000 for, as a gold sponsorship.
I'm not in favor of giving them nothing, but I'm not in favor of giving them 10,000. Counselor Olson?
Yeah, I guess I'm just disappointed that with all the money we pay, you know, AHS, that, you know, they're not supporting, you know, these areas and giving more, but I understand, yes, that's not our decision, but yeah, I guess I'm with the reef. I'm maybe not in favor of giving the 10,000, but definitely giving some kind of sponsorship, depending on what the rest of you guys believe.
Any other comments, Counselor Hoppins?
I do believe that fundraising is sometimes, that shouldn't need to be done for what's the HS needs to provide, but without some of these fundraising events, we wouldn't have what we have in each of our communities. And with that, I would like to make a motion that council approves a $5,000 donation to the Three Hills Healthcare Center Auxiliary Society for their 2026 fundraising event.
Is there any other concerns or questions? Motion's on the floor. All in favor? Carried.
Carolyn has one more question.
Yes.
Can I also make another suggestion? Because under the gold sponsorship, there's 8 complimentary banquet tickets. In the past, we've actually donated them back to the organization to resell, unless council as a group wants to attend this event together.
Yeah, don't look at me for going. Yeah, I would think that. I'm okay with that, I should say. Yeah, everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Do you want a motion on that? Sure. Counselor Olson?
Sure, I would make the motion, then the council direct the 8 tickets that are provided with the gold membership to be donated back to the event society. However you want to put that, Carolyn.
Okay. Everybody okay with the motion? No concerns or comments? Counselor Penner?
Yeah, I guess the only question I have though is,
Changed
It would
what they
be,
were doing to what we were.
yeah,
Should we go back? Are we good? We can change it?
it would be
My thought was, with that motion, is that we are purchasing the $5,000 membership
I understood that
rather
as
than the
well.
project
Yeah.
cost. Was everybody under that impression?
Sorry.
that was my.
Okay,
when I
well,
made-
we need to clarify.
Yeah.
I don't see anything about a gala. I see them funding a project. Now, they haven't specified very much.
But they did knock off the check mark for community event at the very top. So that's where I'm,
Yes, community.
and then you need 50% down
So it was confusing, but.
for,
Community and event sponsorship.
yeah, and then,
Sorry, I see.
and they don't have the 50% down for a capital project.
Gotcha.
So that's where I,
We're still buying that 5,000.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, no, that's fine, yeah. It's a very application.
So are you okay, Merle, what were you voting for then?
I haven't been voting for them to get the $5,000 for the project, but if we have to do it this real to get it to them, I'm okay with that. As long as it gets there.
With point,
And I'm fine with that.
do we need to revote then? No.
No.
As long as we got it, right?
Yeah, we got it. So just this last motion on the table.
Correct.
If we give them 5,000 for the sponsorship of the gala, they can take the 5,000 that they already had saved up and use that for the project, in my view.
Okay. Everybody's in favor of this? Carried. Could you get the social butterfly back? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Merle, I wasn't sure.
Okay, let's go to 8, council committee reports. This would be Division 5 once again. It's 11:30, keep it short.
Keep it short, too bad. I got 32 minutes, yeah. Yeah, no, it's been a busy few weeks. Sit back and relax, boys. No, so Friday, June 12th, I attended an event over in Olds. Central Alberta first hosted it. It was called the Industry Connector Forum. And our very own Ms. Kester, with her economic development program, she was very involved with the event and was scurrying around there like crazy, helping out. And also Ms. Ashton, I believe, attended on behalf of Ms. Cochran, as she wasn't able to go. So it was a really great event. In the morning, they had 4 presenters. One was P&H Milling Group. That's that new facility that's being built by Springbrook. If they would like to come to Kneehill County, the door is open. Very interesting presentation. E3 Lithium presented. Again, very interesting. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the fellow that's building the flour mill, I do know his name and I can't pronounce it, Oleg. That's doing the project in Acme presented, so that was very interesting. And then also the data center that's proposed for Olds, they also presented. So yeah, 4 very interesting presentations, so that was good. The afternoon was breakout sessions, so I was lucky enough to attend a session with Raymond Hoppins, which is Richard's younger brother. Yeah. That's a point for him, apparently, I'm told. It was really good. No, I'm not just saying it because Deputy Reeves here, he's a very engaging speaker, and as we know, we go to a lot of things and hear a lot of people, and yeah, I know he was really good. No, he was good. So yeah, it was a really good day. So, and then the Ghost Pine Picnic, I think some of you folks heard about it. I just really loved that they had such a good turnout, and I think we did post it on our social media. They did the sign there, which if you get a chance, if you want to go to crop tour and go out there, the sign is really neat, amazing. And again, just showcases the work that they've put into it, and that they've taken the money that the county has given them in grants and done some great stuff with it. So that was awesome. We had a Kneehill Regional FCSS meeting last week. Deputy Reeve attended as well, as he's the alternate, and we had a really good discussion on the multi-municipal agreement, and I think a template is coming forward, and we'll continue working on that. Kneehill Housing, June 17th, it was actually kind of interesting. We actually went up to Trochu. this time and toured a couple of suites in the Manor and the little cottage area in Trochu. I'd never been in that part. I'd been in the Manor before, but so that was kind of neat to see that, and they're doing a lot of renovations in a couple of the suites up there to make them rentable. And then we did just do kind of a stop by the new facility. I've been lucky enough to see it, but I think some folks hadn't even kind of been up in that area. So lots of exciting things going on there. So last but not least, June 18th at Acme, we had our Community Futures AGM. We had a little directors meeting first, which included the audit for Community Futures Wild Rose, which was passed. And yeah, you've heard me say the program is amazing, continues to be amazing. We had a dinner, not Mexican, but a really great dinner with the Swiss kitchen lady, and she's actually out of Acme. So really good meal from her. And I was asked to provide greetings from our MP, Pierre Polyev. So I was honored to do that in his absence. And yeah, then we had the AGM really well attended. I don't know how many people were there, but it was very well attended in Acme. So, and the folks that partners, spouses, whatever that went, they were able to go do a tour of the Acme School and do the Sunterra Market as well. So yeah, so it was, I do have impact reports for Community Futures Wild Rose if anybody's interested in having a look. And I do have those booklets from the Olds event too, if anybody's interested in looking at them. And that's it.
Thank you. Anybody want to take her to task on anything?
That was 5 minutes.
It's okay. I know you can. Okay.
Accept his information.
Yep. Thank you. Closed session. Need a motion. Councillor Hoppins.
I move council moves into closed session in camera at 11:33.
All in favor? Carried. We'll just take a few minutes.